mentioned there was no evidence of foul play, and the keys were missing. Grantsburg is about 30 miles from St. Croix and 15 miles from Cushing. And Bly has family living there, and she graduated from Grantsburg High School. She left behind a husband and two daughters under the age of 2, and she doesn't have any credit or debit cards, and she left home with very little money. Bly's husband filed for divorce 3 weeks after her disappearance and
Three
sought.
weeks.
Girl, I'm telling you, I don't know.
Okay.
See, I can't with the twists and the turns. It makes my brain hurt. These poor investigators.
Oh my.
Okay. So, and then he sought a court date to prevent her from returning and taking the children.
Ah.
Okay. But listen to this. They had just married though in February of that same year in 2009.
No. But they had kids.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. So here's a little bit of information about them. It says the relationship was troubled, and the police were called home at the home at least once to intervene in a domestic violence incident. What is up with the DV man? Anyway, Bly's husband accused her of slapping him, and she accused um uh accused her of putting wait, and she accused him, excuse me, of putting her in a headlock and banging her head on the ground. That sounds horrible. He had previously filed for divorce in June, but then withdrew after they reconciled.
Mhm.
Listen, that's crazy. If my husband came up to me and we had already been whooping up on each other's heads like that and then said, "Hey, I'm kicking you to the curb. I want a divorce," I'd say, "You know what, buddy? You got it. You got it. That's perfectly fine with me." Not, "Oh, can we work this out?" But, I get it too at the same time, because those types of relationships are very intricate and they are not very black and white as a lot of people like, "Why don't you just leave?" Well,
Agreed.
that's another day and, another episode.
We'll
But
definitely get into something like that.
yes, oh, yeah. But unfortunately, that's how it is. Um, but okay, her husband passed a polygraph and he is not considered a suspect in her disappearance. Now, again, a polygraph is not admissible in court. And polygraphs to me, I'm gonna be completely honest, don't mean a hill of beans. Because if I sat there and convinced myself that I was right, I'm 100% sure I could pass one. And it may be because I'm a Gemini, I don't know. But I feel with 100% certainty I could pass one of those if I wanted to go to Lulu and say I'm correct.
I
I-
mean,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
just saying.
But anyway, so well, the divorce was granted, okay, in 2010, and he has custody of
Thankfully.
their daughters. Okay. Now this is where it gets kind of strange. So Rose had fell off a horse a week before her disappearance, and then she had told her
What?
mother, "Girl,
Okay.
here we go, here we go." I'm telling you, I can't. She told her mother she was having headaches. And then her mom was like, "You need to go to see a doctor. Like, you could have like a concussion or something." But there's no evidence anywhere that she ever did that. So her mom speculates that that her daughter became disoriented due to her injury and then wandered away. But there's also too never any evidence that supports that. Um, so yeah, but the two cases are not thought to be related and both remain unsolved. I don't know. It's eerie. It's this weird ass family coincidence, but there's no evidence connecting the two.
That is insane to me. But,
I know.
what can we say about it?
I know. I'm like, I mean, I got a lot of, I have a lot of questions. Um, my eye
I,
is twitching.
I'm with
Like, I
you.
have so many questions. Okay. So, and then obviously, okay, so we've covered the folks and the such, and then the family cooperation issue is obviously something that is a huge play into this as well, and it raises a lot of eyebrows with a lot of folks.
As it should.
Um, because
Oh,
then
did
in
I say
March,
that? I'm not muted. Sorry.
girl, you were fine. So in March of 2022, that's when they had said, remember, that they were no longer cooperating. And then, of course, this blew up online. People were like, uh huh, there we go, the aha moment. Um, but again, while not cooperating and a lack thereof can obviously raise some eyebrows and questions, it is not equal people being guilty. And families stop cooperating for a lot of reasons. It could be distrust. It could be their legal counsels advising, you don't have to answer everything or anything. Fear, because a lot of people, they get threatened, like people like vigilante justice type stuff. And then of course, just conflicts with the investigators. But um, the investigators have never publicly stated like anything that Don or Candace has lied about anything, right? Um, so obviously then that people are like, well, why, why did y'all
Right. It
just
makes it, yeah, it
stop?
makes you go, wait, like, well, why did you stop cooperating? And we just want to
Yes.
know why.
Yes. And then, of course, the interviews and like timelines, and then this inconsistencies within their statements is another thing that people are like, what in the Hello Kitty be thy name? Like the basement timeline. So the original narrative, according to the family, was that Summer was planting flowers. She went inside, then she went downstairs, and then Candace briefly went inside, and then hello, we don't know where she's at. A lot happening right there. I mean, lots going on. Uh, but then, of course, the questions like, me and you have asked, well, how long was she actually unsupervised? Again, the same questions like with Dennis Martin. How long was he actually missing before y'all actually realized he was quote unquote missing? Um, and the thing that's frustrating about this is that we have never been able to nail down the timeline minute by minute. And then one of the biggest criticisms is that the family's timeline seems to change slightly depending on which interview is being referenced. Now, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. And then the basement door. The family said that Summer went downstairs. And then everybody's like, well, which door did she use? Like, what do you mean she went downstairs? Did she go through a crawl space? Did she go through a cellar door? Did she go through an actual basement door? Did she go upstairs and then go down through a hallway that's a basement access? Um, just a lot of things like, and then just all the different descriptions of this quote unquote basement area and or how she entered or did not enter the house, and all of those different descriptions has led to a lot of confusion, which I get it. I get the confusion. I
I'm,
get it.
I mean, I'm confused as last year's Easter egg over here too.
Girl, yes. In tall grass. We're in the weeds over here
All the way in the weeds.
in the words.
I mean, I
Um,
am. I mean, there's, like you said, there are so many twists and turns, and then it just doesn't stop.
no, no. And then of course, obviously, like who saw her last? And while this sounds, I mean, incredibly simple, it has unfortunately been very, very surprisingly confusing. And at various different points. So Candace stated she saw Summer near the house. Don repeated what Candace told him happened. But because he was apparently at work. Um, but then two things don't line up there within it. And then the questions and about like, the brothers, did they actually see Summer enter the basement? Or
Yep.
did they think they did? Or was that just something that they said? You know? And so but here's the thing, the investigators like have never publicly clarified exactly who was the last confirmed witness.
Which, yeah. How did they know what she was wearing? Who knew what she was? Yeah, no.
Yeah. So and then there's time gaps. Okay, like Candace suggested, I had only stepped away from her briefly.
Well, what's briefly to
Well,
her? I mean, briefly
girl,
to me could be
exactly.
2 minutes. Briefly to her could be 20, 30, 40 minutes.
Hell, briefly to some folks is 3 days.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah, I mean, and
This
I'm
is
just like,
true.
okay. So then, with all that hot mess expressed, then that obviously draws the abduction theories, and then here they start going into like family involvement. And then one of the biggest things is the swimming hole timeline. Um,
This is the
which
one that gets me. This is where I get stopped.
yes. So earlier in the day, we got Candace, then we got Grandis, Summer, and Hunter. Now, we're going to get into Hunter here briefly we're in a little while. And so the main thing with that is like the arrival times, departure times, and the exact activities. But again, nothing has ever shown direct connection that is any of these things are related to her disappearance. But everybody online is very heavily focused on them, which I get it. Um, and then two, there's this thing called the milk jug photos. Um, and so
Yep.
and everybody's seen this, I'm sure, on social media. You can find it anywhere, and it refers to the still images that were taken from a cell phone, and it is of Summer Wells, but she's sitting in the back seat of a vehicle, and she's resting her head against plastic jugs of milk.
I saw the
Now,
picture.
yeah, now again, me and Danielle do encourage you all to just do a simple search, and you just look at them, and
Make your own
uh,
conclusions.
yes, draw your own conclusions. Um, But then, according to the timeline that was provided by Summer's mother and Candace, the family spent the day running errands. They visited a local swimming hole. They stopped at Sonic for some slushies. And, then they went and bought some groceries. The video, though, was captured, the video and or photos was captured on the drive home just hours before she was reported missing, okay, from her home around 6:30 p.m. And in that footage, she is wearing a long sleeve jacket, pants, and she appears to be fast asleep while leaning on milk jugs.
Hmm.
hmm Yeah. Again, please, we encourage people, to obviously do their own research. But yeah, we do encourage you to just look at that photo. And again, as Danielle said, draw your own conclusions.
Give us a
You know,
comment what you think about the picture.
exactly. Thank you. Um, the TBI and local law enforcement, they've looked at all of it from that day, including that video, and they just say it shows nothing other. I mean, they've never really said. They're just like, yeah, you know, they've never publicly said anything about it. They're just like, yeah, she's asleep, and that's kind of just hush hush.
Sleep, sleep.
So, and of course, then everybody's like, well, who took that picture, and what was the exact time? Was that normal behavior? Did she normally fall asleep in the car? Did she normally fall asleep on cold milk jugs? Um, you know, just things. But, you know, and then her haircut, which has been extremely controversial.
I found that.
Um,
I found that. Yeah.
yeah. So there's been a million and three ways that we have skinned this cat about the haircut. The first thing is she wanted her hair short. Then she wanted to look like her brothers. Um, and of course, law enforcement has never said, that they cut her hair and it was like in regards to anything suspicious or any wrongdoings. But then, according to her father, Don, he states that Summer attempted to shave her own hair in the back, which then resulted in a quote unquote out of control cut. So, to correct that, the parents decided to shave her head entirely so then it could grow back evenly, right? Well, then um, Candace also shaved her head. I have no idea what's going on. And then she explained that Summer was a quote unquote tomboy and wanted her head shaved like her mother and her brothers. And so the mom did this, Candace did this, so Summer would not feel bad about the situation.
Um. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, the official updates is the haircut occurred shortly before she disappeared on June 15th, according to all the official alerts, and that the TBI then issued updated alerts to notify the public that her hair was much shorter than in initial photos.
Was that not discussed at the beginning?
You know, Danielle, at this point, I don't know what in the hell was discussed. I'm going to be completely honest. I know what has been said. Um,
Oh my gosh. I mean, no wonder we still don't have many answers in this case because it's like
mhm,
you don't, I mean, there's so many twists and turns. There's so many
mhm,
possibilities.
mhm,
And it's like nothing is ruled out. It's still
mhm.
just out there open.
Yep.
And we don't know
Mm,
what happened to the poor little girl.
yep. Now, to touch base a little bit on on
Yes,
Hunter
please.
here, okay? Because I was like, who in the world is Hunter?
Mm.
So I did a little deep dive, and so he's a teenage boy who was one of the last people. Well, at this point, this whole community has been one of the last people to see this girl. I'm
How
sorry,
small
but
is this dang community? I mean, they searched so much terrain, and yet we got the whole community. Okay.
we got the whole everybody in the club. Anyway, so he was one of the last people to see her when she on the day she disappeared. Okay, he and his mother, Allison Harris, they then become involved in public discussions around the case after it was revealed he was with Summer and her mother, Candace, at Warriors Path State Park earlier that day. Now,
Is that the
um,
swimming hole?
girl, yes, that was at the
Lord.
swimming hole. Yes, and so that's really all we got on him. I mean, and it said that they had done like some interviews and stuff, and I didn't get a chance to do like a real deep dive and look into that, which I fully intend on doing. But yeah, it just says that they did, a bunch of different interviews with true crime channels. But the main thing is that they offered conflicting timelines and details. Imagine that.
Nothing has added up this whole time. No timeline, nobody's details. Nothing's added up except for the picture of her on the milk carton jug things.
Girl, you know what has added up with this whole thing is that I have I have 18 pages of research, and I have 4,478 words on them 18 pages. That is the only thing that has added up.
Well, that would make sense because I mean it's like a twisting tale of turns that nothing leads to anything. It all leads to open space, dead end, like there's no more information. Oh, wait, hang
Mhm.
on, there's this. And I know that law enforcement obviously has many more details, but I feel like obviously if they
Mhm.
had enough details, we would have a suspect or
Mhm.
we would have more than the speculation that we have. And I hate to even point this out, but it reminds me of the Sebastian Rogers case out of
Mhm.
Hendersonville. And even
Mhm.
though it's different in every aspect, it still remains the same. There's no trace of
Mhm.
this child leaving their home. And,
Mhm.
the family's the last people to see them. And I don't know. And I just, something with this little boy, the 16-year-old, and, you know, I get into the Reddit and I read. And so I don't know facts versus fiction. So I keep that kind of for our theories. But
Mhm.
that's strange to me, and the picture that they took with her that is in question, and I can't tell, okay? It looks weird, but also if I was just looking at the picture, I wouldn't I
Mhm.
as a person that wouldn't really think anything of it, I would not.
Right.
So, I don't know, but that picture was taken, and was he still with them when that picture was taken? Did they drop him off? Did at his house? Did his parent? I mean, there's so
Mhm.
many questions. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, girl, I know. And like, and of course, even with like all of this, okay, so then like, um, I like the video. Okay, with all of this to say, and like, and all of these things that we've covered, including this last little part here before we, conclude this episode, there's still no official charges. There's no official suspect. There's no official anything other than an official Amber Alert that she is a missing child and an official notification that the case is still open. And it's crazy to me. It is crazy to me. And but also too, like, and what is so like mentally taxing about
Mhm.
this specific case
Mhm.
is that there is so much speculation. And and I'm a firm believer, you trust your gut, but at the end of the day, your gut is, like what they say, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And
Yep. Yep, it is.
that's what's so frustrating about these things is because you see all these inconsistencies and you read them and you compare and you contrast and you highlight and you underline and you do this, that, and the third and you discuss. But at the end of the day, there's no suspects. And I'm just like, how could there be this much inconsistent, just shizen just everywhere, and nobody's a suspect. Nobody knows anything. Hell, half the community was the last person that saw her. And no, no, yeah, we got nothing. I mean, seriously, I've gone through so many people, and I'm like, who? Okay, let's start with who in the hell didn't see her. Like, I'm serious. Like, and I'm not trying to be crass, but I'm like, I mean, this is crazy. Like, and this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this. Now, we covered
Yep.
a whole bunch of information, but again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm just like, and we're still just sitting here like, yep, I no clue. Yeah, there's a lot of strange things, and there's a lot of things that make you kind of go, but
But
that's
we don't
kind of what we got.
know.
Yeah, but we don't know. And it's just so frustrating because I'm just like, I mean, with peace and love, this is crazy. But I
It is.
I mean,
It is.
but I mean, like, so all of this to say, we've given you all a lot. Like, my brain's hurting. Like, we've given you all a lot to digest and, go back and listen to. And, if anybody takes notes, which I do that sometimes because, I'm a nerd about some things, and just be like, that doesn't make any sense. Or even do like research on your own. You will soon see kind of, I hope you all, well, I'm sure you've heard. I mean, my God, we were all over the place, with, well, I think this happened, but then I don't remember, but then no, I'm not going to talk to you because of this, and then no, well, no, I'm not saying I'm not going to talk because my phone number's on file. No. So yeah, this is definitely going to have like a third episode, and then that one is probably where we're going to touch base on just a few more things. Because again, we could sit here, this could be a 32-part episode. Because there's so many different avenues that you can go down and branch off of because you have 10 more questions than you
Yep.
have answers. Um, but again, like, this is, we're trying to separate fact from fiction. The next episode is going to dive more into plausibility, theories, and local theories. And to me, I like really looking and investing into the local theories because I'm sorry, uh, especially like in rural communities, those are probably going to give you more of like a direction to kind of start looking into and or traveling down than anything, because I mean,
Oh,
who knows you better than the folks that
that
live
live right
beside you
there.
every day.
Exactly.
And there's always somebody's granny in a neighborhood that knows everything about everybody, all the way down to the birthdays.
And that's scary.
Girl, it's true, they do. hmm But so, as we conclude this episode, of course, we always want to remain respectful. Um, we always want, to hear from you all, hear your, opinions, and, anything, any information, any points of view that you may see, and see from a different aspect. And of course, anyone with information on her whereabouts, on Summer's whereabouts, is asked to contact the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. And their phone number is 423 272 7121, or the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND. And Danielle, I think with that, girl,
I think it
I'm
was
going to,
wonderful.
I think with that, I am going to conclude this episode.
Conclude it.
Yes, and I am going to bid everyone adieu. And always remember, every town has a story.
And every story has a secret. Wait.
Girl, you got it. Say it again. You got it, girl. It's getting late. You got it. You got it, girl. I have faith.
Okay. One more time. What am I supposed to say again?
Okay. Okay, here we go. And
Help me.
remember, every story. Oh my God.
I have to have it in front of me.
Okay, here we go. And remember, every town has a story.
And every story has a secret. Damn it,
Good
Bobby!
night. You got it. You got it. You got it. You did good, right? You
Oh,
want to
I
do it
thought
again?
it was every town had a secret. Damn it. I don't know.
Okay, every town has a story, and every story has a secret.
Oh, I did do it right!
Yes, you did. And then you
It
said,
did
damn
sound
it.
right coming from me, okay? It sounded better when it came out of your mouth, though. Okay, we're good. Damn. Okay, that was great. That